Step 16, going from employee to entrepreneur, is email list building from forms. This is one of the most important foundational things that you can do, and one of the biggest values that your brand can have is the value of your email list. Here's why. If you're on social media and Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, those audiences are leased. You do not own that relationship. You don't have their email address. You don't have their cell phone number. You can't directly engage, in most cases, with that person outside of on that platform. With email, you have direct access to them. You have direct access to communicate with them at scale. You can send mass marketing out, which we'll get into in a follow-up episode. But you can communicate with that person one-on-one whenever you please outside of that platform. So when you're setting up your website, one of the first things that you should be doing is setting up a newsletter or setting up some kind of email capture on the site that's very present, very prominent, because you own that relationship as soon as that person gives you their email address. And by own that relationship, I mean that they've given you the right and the access to have a one-to-one conversation with them. And in the advent of a lot of platforms like customer data platforms, email marketing platforms, and marketing automation platforms, there's a lot of information that you can gather about a person's email address that tells you a better story about them. There are some cases where you can marry an email address to some of their social handles if they're going to opt in and give you more information. There's also ways that you can see throughout that customer journey where they came in from. If they saw an ad, if they saw a LinkedIn post, if they saw a piece of content, your analytics on your website should be able to tell you and set up that conversion path to understand where that person came from and why they were willing to give you their email address. To take it a step further, you also want to understand what is it that you're giving as a source of value that you can entice somebody to get that email address. Because if you're able over time to lay the foundation where you have 10, 20, 30, 100,000 email addresses in your database, that becomes so valuable to a potential suitor or someone that may want to invest in or buy your company down the road. If you really don't have that database built up, you're only as good as the revenue that you have and the subscriptions that you have. And if you're a service-based business, even worse, if you're not able to manage a monthly recurring revenue structure and you're just doing gig jobs and there's no email address structure there, you're only as good as the revenue you did today. There's no longevity to that. There's no predictability. There's no repeatability to that company, which lowers the value tremendously from a private equity or a venture capital view. So getting an email platform is incredibly easy. You can sign up with something like Klaviyo or MailChimp or Go High Level or some kind of platform that gives you all of the tools that you need to insert forms. HubSpot is another example on your website that if someone downloads a PDF or you offer a free piece of content for them, they give you their email address, all of that information goes into a form into the CRM that you can remarket to then after the fact. So if you're a first-time entrepreneur, you've never done digital marketing before, you just launched your website, you just got your first social media handle, the next thing that you want to absolutely make sure that you do is go sign up for an email marketing platform. MailChimp is a great one. Klaviyo is a great one. HubSpot is a pretty good one that has some other CRM capabilities. Rhythm has our own if you want to try ours and use it as part of our brand OS. So there's a million different options today, but I would highly recommend that you go find an email marketing platform that works, that converts, that can automate your sequences. The other thing that you can do with an email platform is that over time, you're able to take where that person is in the journey and just keep sending emails, keep adding value along that chain until they convert. So we'll get to the customer storyboarding episode shortly, but this is the foundational layer that's going to tokenize and make that relationship a little bit more transactional, where you own the relationship now versus leasing it from a social nature on the social networks.